Welcome to another episode of Euphoric the podcast, where having a really big purpose, living an alcohol-free lifestyle, and entrepreneurship all collide. Now, I have just finished our spring round of our 5X certification program. That's the Empowered AF Coach certification program where you get certified in 5 different modalities. So we had a round that started in spring of 2024, and 10 months later, we've just culminated the experience. And it has literally been the wildest ride ever. Like, the wins and the transformations that have happened in this group are so good. They're so magical. I just had to share what's possible for you to just let us all know that it is not that much time, that in a matter of literally months, you could be living out these dream realities. Now, I am someone who is not that used to celebrating my wins. It's something that I love to do with all of my clients. It's something that I think is so important if we're really into personal development and healing and growth. I think it's so important to celebrate our wins. But I also think that there is this cultural expectation of women to not brag very much. And that if you brag too much, you're thought of as stuck up, or that you're have everything happening for you so easily, and that you've never struggled in your life, or whatever projections we put on women when they celebrate their wins. I think sometimes, still subconsciously, I hold myself back from really sharing a lot of the behind-the-scenes details of my life or my clients' lives because of that cultural projection. And I'm working with an incredible coach right now who's really challenging me to step out of that, who's really challenging me to shout from the rooftops the things that I've done, the things that my clients have done, the milestones that are literally happening behind the scenes in my business and in my clients' lives, to really show other people what's possible. Because, truly when I look at how I transformed my life and my journey to get to where I am, it wasn't without role models. And if a woman doesn't go first and shows you what's possible, how do we even know that the journey is conceivable? How do we even know that it's possible for us too? And way back when I read the book Eat, Pray, Love, and Elizabeth Gilbert gave me that sense of oh my gosh, you can have permission to go travel and have beautiful adventures and live a big life, and it's not all about your life in this one local place, or all the entrepreneurship, female leaders that I really look up to that have shown me that you can have a life outside of your 9 to 5 and dictate life on your own terms and make an incredibly great living and have a sense of purpose. Or the life coaches or the mindset mentors who've really shown me that you have such a big purpose to play on this planet, and that your life is meant for so much more than thinking that you're anything smaller than that big purpose. And so I've used the power of the human story so much in my life to really show what's possible, and that's why I'm plugged into these kind of spaces. I'm always working with a mentor, and I'm always in a mastermind. I'm actually in 3 right now, so that I can be plugged into these spaces where you get to be a little delusional. Because the thing is that there is what's called a normal mindset, and the normal mindset is the one that's culturally programmed at the time. We talk about this a lot in my certification program, how basically the cultural norms and expectations of any era become the conditioning and the programming that most people will grow up with. So if you think of you being born in medieval times, just think of how different you would be, right? Even if you had the same exact DNA, you're the same exact person, you would be such a different person. You would probably be really superstitious, and you would have a lot of fear, and you'd probably be really dirty because you don't shower very often. The way your mind thinks would be completely different than if you were born today. And so we can see that these global beliefs have such a big influence on us as we age, as our subconscious starts to mature, as we start to really pick up our personalities and our identities. And a lot of what is our personality and our identity isn't necessarily fixed to what we were supposed to be when we were born. It's been programmed by this society. I love this stuff. I could talk about this stuff forever. This is why we go so deep into the psychology of programming, into the, Empowered AF Coach certification program. But basically, now I'm here talking about all the wins I want to share with you. And there's a part of me that's wait, is this okay? Am I allowed to share this? Are people going to think X, Y, Z? And I need to get out of that rhetoric. I need to really break through, just like I challenge my clients to do. Because when you accomplish something amazing in your life, you should be shouting it from the rooftops. When you accomplish or help someone else do something amazing in their life, you should be shouting it from the rooftops too. We don't get enough of that stories. We get way more doom and gloom. And when you look at just the normal mindset, when you look at what's been globally programmed as the cultural norms of today, it's pretty sad. I mean, people are really pessimistic, they're really skeptical, they don't really have much faith in themselves, they really just operate like life on the day to day, and that's where I was stuck for so long. And now I'm in that delusional mindset where I believe anything is possible, and I believe that my dreams were meant for me, and I live in this world of other women thinking and feeling that way. And so now I don't feel that different for having that delusional mindset, because I've surrounded myself with other people who have that same mindset, and we're all delusional together, and guess what? It works. Like, it definitely works. And I think that's one of the coolest things about the certification is we come in and do this kind of reprogramming on ourselves first, right away. Right away, we get kind of into how to really change what we perceive in reality so that we are most set up for success. And so it's no wonder that with a program like this, where not only do you get certified in 5 different modalities, 5 different psychological areas that you are going to be so adept to coach on, you have so much practice baked in. We have over 10 practicums in the program. But I think the real crowning thing about this certification is that it is one of the only certifications that I know of that spent equal amount of time on business training, business fundamentals, marketing, selling, as it does on the actual certification itself. In fact, you're certified after 5 months. It's a 10-month program. You're certified after 5 months. You graduate technically with your certifications after 5 months, but you have 5 more months together with me to learn the fundamentals and really understand the game of entrepreneurship, of marketing, and selling. And I have done those programs where you literally graduate and you don't know shit about business. You don't know anything about marketing. You don't know anything about how to put yourself out there. And obviously, I've learned the whole hard way through that. And I've worked with a lot of clients who graduated those programs and then have no idea what they're doing to get clients and to actually start building a profitable business. And so that's why it was so important to me from the very get-go. I'm like, I don't know if 10 months is going to fly. I don't know if people are wanting such an intensive program, but obviously the market did. Obviously people wanted that level of training, because basically what's the point of knowing how to coach and being able to really make profound transformations in people's lives or help them change their relationship with alcohol if you don't have clients to do that on, if you're struggling to actually make it profitable. And so I think that is what really sets up this program apart from all of the certifications out there, and that all expenses paid retreat definitely doesn't hurt. Like, that is where the hugest up levels and experiences happen. And so it's no wonder to me that now I'm sitting at the end of one of our rounds. It's our 3rd round ever. No, sorry, 2nd round ever. So our 3rd round is also in motion right now. They're halfway through about, but our 2nd round just graduated. And no wonder I'm sitting on top of all of these incredible wins, like pinch me wins that like I cannot believe where someone started and where they ended up. And I have to just understand that is the magic of this program. It is the magic of how we put everything together that like does this. And it's also the magic of who we attract. Because this program has a pretty strict vetting process. Not everybody's accepted into the program. Like, you already have to have a growth mindset and have a big vision, or else like it's not a good fit for you. And so I think by having that carefully vetting process, like, we're bringing in people who are gonna have a high success rate, who aren't just doing this as a little hobby just to see what happens, but truly have that vision and want to help people and impact so many lives. Okay, so without further ado, some of the most incredible wins that I'm seriously like either crying over, I'm getting goosebumps over, I'm celebrating, I am like shocked. I'm literally just shocked at some of these wins. So one of my clients in the certification came in with a full-time job, and she had just changed her relationship with alcohol a few months before joining the program. So to think that you have to be someone who's been alcohol-free or, sober for so long is such a myth, because sometimes it's like you just have that change, it clicks, and you're ready to be on fire now. And so she was working a full-time job at that point. And, the full-time job was really her thing for such a long time. Even felt some, anxiety and some, kind of, guilt about maybe even potentially thinking about leaving that full-time job. But at the end of the program, not only has she quit her job, she also did this incredible challenge for herself where she, challenged herself to post on social media every day. And at first it wasn't really working. It wasn't really picking up steam or anything like that. And then I don't know what it was. Maybe her, 11th or 15th or 18th post went viral. And she started going viral more often after that and just built this incredible community, and is seriously now her reels are coming in hot every day when I see them. She's such an incredible habits coach. And what she did was build an incredible membership out of that and group program, which I think is just so valuable, as well as fill as her one-on-one. Okay, but now the real shocking stuff, like that's pretty shocking within itself of like how quickly you could be getting up and set up with a successful, marketing arm and business and clients coming in. But I think what's really remarkable is that an agent found her, like a book agent found her and wants to publish her book, which if you don't know anything about the publishing world, that doesn't happen. Like that does not happen. We pitch ourselves at the mercy of agents, hoping and praying and wishing that they would give us, a contract to be able to work with them to get a book deal. Somebody literally found her, like a well-renowned agent, and is like, we need to publish your book. And so, like, the fact that all of this happened in 10 months to go from working a full-time job, not being that, like, long into the alcohol-free journey, to now 10 months later having this level of wins. I don't know, right? It's magic. It's literally magic. I want to share with you also another client of mine who used to work in a practice that was like a firm with other people. And so she wasn't really working on her own. She decided that she wanted to have her own practice. So she set up her own practice in her hometown, and with a matter of like 2 weeks, completely sold out with one-on-one clients, and is hosting her second retreat in Bali. And it is just so incredible to see that, like, we get to live the dream life. We don't have to work for someone else. We can dictate our own terms. Like, we can travel around the world and get paid to do it. I think it's so remarkable that what I love about entrepreneurship so much is that you're in charge. No one else is in charge. I was just talking to my friend about this. She's a digital nomad. And we were talking about, like, people who are, like, really high up in corporate, like, maybe have, like, 200K jobs or something like that, and they're leaders and whatnot, but that they still have to ask for time off, or that they still have to, like, negotiate whether or not they can pick up their child from, from school because of some important meeting or something like that. And we were just joking about it, how is that freedom? Like, how are you really an adult if you don't have control over your life? And I know that's like a pretty crazy thing to say, but it's just something that's so important to me because I value freedom so much. And if you value freedom too, you probably have noticed how annoying that is. But when you value freedom so much, to be able to work for yourself, dictate your own terms, dictate when you're working, dictate how you're working, where you're working, dictate what projects you work on, what meetings you're in, when you can take time off, if you're working on vacation anytime you want to. I think that's so beautiful about entrepreneurship and being a coach specifically, because damn, do you have a lot of freedom like that, right? And to just watch people blossom into that, I think is really, really remarkable. Okay, another client in the certification program, when she first started, she was working, a full-time job and kind of really growing into her confidence at the very beginning, as definitely, when alcohol's been in your life for a long time, it can kind of beat you down a little bit. And this woman is now literally, I think, the most confident, vibrant, powerful person I know. She is working on her keynote speech. She's speaking on stages. She is getting clients left and right. And on top of that, she asked a celebrity, a major celebrity, I'm not going to tell you details specifically, but she asked a major celebrity to be on her show, her podcast, which she didn't have 10 months ago, right? And he said yes. It's so crazy what happens when you not only ditch alcohol, affirm your incredibly powerful alcohol-free identity, go after your entrepreneurial dreams, how quick this stuff can happen. And you could be living a completely different reality in just a year or so in time than you were before that. We have so many people who left their full-time jobs in this program, which I think is just remarkable. So someone left her full-time job to be able to be with her family more and to really be able to prioritize her children. Actually, we had 2 people who have that kind of storyline. And they are really sharing their values and what they really care about, whether it's the spiritual or the healing, helping other people navigate that, of really understanding, are we living the lives that we're meant to live based on our own desires? Or are we all kind of following the instructions that someone else gave us, right? And sometimes it can really feel like that when the instructions are, go to college, get a corporate job, save for retirement, get the white picket fence house, and you're like, is this really the life I want though? What if I value spending more time with my family at home versus going to some corporate office, And I think it's really hard to shake free of that matrix, especially with the 9-to-5 matrix, also obviously the alcohol matrix, to be no, I get to define my own way. And it's so often that going alcohol-free is like the starting point. It's like the starting point to start questioning everything and getting to truly redefine your life the way that you want to. Okay, another one of my clients has been leading community events in her city, and she spoke recently to a group of 50 women to empower them and live out their own dreams. I am so amazed by her. She is such a go-getter. Like, no matter what life throws at her, she is just like, I am going to keep on being positive. I am going to help as many people as possible. And to be like elevated as a leader like that, where you're speaking on stages to, dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of women, I think really goes to show like what kind of leader and vision you truly have, and the opportunities that follow that, the clients that want to work with you, the other speaking gigs that you might get from that, the podcasting interviews that you might get from that. It is just, that's what I always wanted. I didn't have a word for it, but I read the book, Finding Your Own North Star by Martha Beck, about a month or two, I think, before I took my first break from alcohol. And I was enamored with the book. Obviously, it helps you find like your purpose per se. But I was also enamored with the woman who wrote it, Martha Beck. And, right now she's an older lady, but she wrote this book to help other people find empowerment and purpose. And there was something within me that was like, I want to be Martha Beck. I didn't even have a word for it. I didn't even really know that the coaching industry and that thought leadership existed back then. Like, I knew what authors were, but like, that's about it. You know what I mean? I didn't understand this world, but I could perceive glimmers of it. I could perceive glimmers that Martha Beck probably speaks on stages and helps other people and writes books and stuff like that. And that was like this huge knowing that I got. Even if it wasn't very conscious at the moment, it was this subconscious knowing that it was like, I want to be Martha Beck, right? I want to help other people. And not just in these like small ways where nobody like knows about it. Like, I want it to be public. I want to be on that stage. I want to write that book. And I think that when we are able to take those desires that we have, not only to help other people, but to like live a really big life where making a difference is like our daily life, it just can feel so impactful to know that you're stepping into that future. And I think that's what's so cool about being in a certification program as you're growing your business, is that like every little win, every new podcast you're invited to speak on, or every time like a reel goes well, or you sign a new client, you're getting closer and closer and closer to that like dream vision that you've mapped for yourself. And I think that's what really sets apart successful entrepreneurs from non-successful entrepreneurs, is non-successful entrepreneurs look at those little baby steps and say, why isn't it happening faster? I should already be making $1 million. How come I'm not already Martha Beck right now? You know what I mean? And like, they have no patience for the journey. Where successful entrepreneurs really start to recognize that all of these are signs that I am the next Martha Beck, that this is truly happening for me. So when I see my clients speaking on stages, commanding huge podcast opportunities, like really going viral or doing in-person events, it just clicks in me like, yes, you are the next Martha Beck. Of course you are. Of course you are going to make such an impact in so many people's lives, and you are like truly living out your dreams. Okay, another one of my clients in the certification program, she launched her own wellness studio. She quit her job. She is launching programs for visionary leaders, and she's hosting these super concierge boutique experiences in her hometown, which is a very vibey hometown. And I am just so in awe of how quickly this woman has gone for it. I met her before in another program that I was running, and to see like literally how you can go from someone who's drinking to someone who's like, I want to get out of my corporate job, to someone who's actually building a viable, profitable business and like making really big moves, taking big risks. It takes a big risk to go out and get your own space, for example, like an actual brick and mortar space. It takes a big risk to say, I'm going to host a retreat. Like, what if no one buys the retreat? You still have to pay the like cost of the retreat if nobody buys your retreat. You know what I mean? Like, it's a big risk to like say, I'm going to go out and do these big things. And I really do believe that like no risks, no reward. Like, entrepreneurs, I think, are why 88% of millionaires are entrepreneurs, is because we do take big risks and we do things without knowing if it's going to work out. And we might lose a little bit sometimes, and we might fall on our faces and stuff like that. But it's like that attitude is the winning attitude. And that's why for the most part, you could fail and fail and fail, but then get up again and like have massive successes down the line, versus being someone who's so scared to even do anything, to even take the first step, to invest in themselves. We invest in stuff all the time. Like, I was just talking to a friend about how people are installing pools in their houses, or they're upgrading to another bigger house, or they're doing backyard projects, or a kitchen remodel, or the new nicest, flashiest car. Like, we spend some money on stuff like that all the time, but it's really abnormal in our culture, in our society, to actually invest in ourselves and our dreams and the things that are really going to help keep us not only really, really healthy, but also things that are going to propel us to achieve those bigger dreams. So like a certification program or working with a mentor who's already done what you want to do can often feel crazy when you're first getting into it, because like people around you aren't doing stuff like that. And yet, maybe it's these successful entrepreneurs who've already done all that know, like, yes, this is the secret to success. Why would you do something all by yourself when you have no idea how to do it, versus like taking a risk and working with someone, you know, trading the cost of like a few meals out for the cost of like being, you know, privately mentored, or being in a program that really teaches you everything you need to know about being a successful coach, and paving that way to success in such an easier way, and like literally making it something that you're prioritizing with every ounce and fiber of your body and your spirit. You know, it's like you put your money where the mouth is type of thing. And then I think with those entrepreneurs who are willing to do in-person events, who are willing to, you know, do VIP days and retreats and conferences, like, wow, it is a huge sign of leadership to put yourself out there in that way and figure out all the stuff that comes with it. You know, like, what happens if someone misses their flight or this or that? Like, trust me, stuff comes up when you do in-person experiences, but it is such a mark of leadership and putting your name, your brand, your coaching business so far ahead of the field of other people. Okay, so we have another person in my certification program who wrote her book, and this book is an incredible book. It is like a travel memoir meets wellness guide, really sharing her story of so many layers of healing that this woman has done. And it is one of those books that is like, this is your like biography, but you know, more like memoir style. Like, it is a really, really impactful book. And she is literally putting herself out there and is such a fierce leader and commanding a niche that is really one of a kind that I've never seen before. And really doing not only the alcohol-free, but also the health and holistic coaching in a way that is so not generic, but like to the true layer of healing, to the true layer of unpacking like what's no longer serving you, and also for a demographic that I think is just so profound and so powerful. And we are celebrating her book launch, and we are celebrating all the lives that are going to be touched with that. And when you think back to like who you want to be when you grow up, or what are these common desires that so many people have, everybody and their mom wants to write a book, actually. Like 82% of Americans want to write a book. It's a really, really common dream, but most people never do it. In fact, only 1% of people ever write a book. So for everyone who's ever written a book, congratulations. I know how hard it is. It is a huge effort. And for those of you who have the desire, just know you wouldn't have the desire if it wasn't meant for you. Break free of any excuse of I don't have time, or I'm not ready, or I don't know what to do, and find the resources out there that will help support you. This is a big thing we work on in my Thought Leader Mastermind, which is now currently closed. We just started our program, but we will open for enrollment later in the year. If you want to write a book and you like have no idea what you're doing, it's probably smart to get yourself into a room where a mentor who's written a best-selling book can help you through that process, especially if you want to get traditionally published, because writing a book proposal is no joke. Okay, another one of my incredible clients, she spoke at an Ivy League college and hosted an event for over 1,000 people. Now, someone asked her to do this, so they found her as a leader and was like, oh my God, we need you to come in and speak on this topic for our audience. And I think that that's just what leadership truly is like you are standing out and the opportunities literally come flooding to you because how much of a mark you're making on this world. Another one of my clients also started getting approached by all these different corporate clients to lead wellness workshops for them, which again is just so wild. Like, there's so many different ways to be a coach. You can be a coach that, you know, is really built on your own personal brand and you really use like social media and those tools to be able to build your business. You could also be a coach that partners with other organizations and you get a lot of clients and speaking opportunities through other organizations, whether it's corporate organizations and whatnot. And then you could also be an in-house coach and work for like another company and stuff like that. It's such a valuable skill set. And so I am just like flabbergasted at where everyone started and where they are today. I have so many more wins that I was like, how do I share all of it? But like, I just wanted to keep it succinct and like just let that speak for itself. If you were part of this round, you know how much I love you. Like, this was such an incredible experience for me and an honor to guide you and help you achieve some of this. And for those of you who are interested in the certification program, I would definitely recommend getting on the waitlist. So our next round opens in April of this year. We do vet everybody who comes in. There is an application process and an interview that you go through with me. We get to meet and chat and talk about all your goals and dreams and stuff, and I'll let you know if I think it's a right fit for you. But getting on the wait list, you'll know exactly when the doors open. You'll also get exclusive pricing that the rest of the public does not get, so it definitely behooves you to get on this list. If you have even the teeniest desire to, leave your corporate job or 9-to-5 job and work for yourself, I would definitely recommend getting on this list. And or if you're a new coach who's really struggling to find your footing in business, so common. I was there for like years, right? Okay, I couldn't find a one-on-one client for a long time in my business. It's really the business training that's missing. And, I like to wade through everything that worked for me, everything that didn't work for me, everything that was a mistake that I've done, all the different mentors and teachers I've worked with. I've worked with so many different mentors. I've spent over $300,000 investing into my own personal development and business mentorship. So I know a thing or two about what's going to help you work and grow a successful, profitable coaching business. And I like to just keep it super simple and teach you all of those fundamentals so that you're not struggling anymore with sales, getting clients, not knowing how to build an audience on social media or anything like that. And so I think that it's important not only to develop some more of your confidence and conviction in coaching itself, but then also spend that time on that business training. So that's why I put them together. And if someone comes to my world and they're already a coach and they're wondering whether the certification program is good for them, it really depends on where they are in their coaching business. So if they're new or struggling still to really make sales and make the kind of months that they want to make, I actually think the certification program would be such a good fit because of like the incredible conviction and power of the business training. And also when you get more of the psychological training and get more steeped in to like the methods that are really going to create like rapid transformations for your clients, you have more conviction, you have more confidence, you have incredible different energy and frequency about you that makes you way more magnetized and way more desirable to people who want to work with you. So I think that's important to recognize too, because I was a newbie once too. I know how hard it is. I know how, difficult it can be to build a business and figure out your niche and your target audience and how to sell things and how to get anyone to actually buy anything. And after building $1 million business, like I've made all the mistakes. I know it works. I know it doesn't. And we make it really simple for you to understand. And we spend half the time literally building out your business and learning those fundamentals and workshopping different methods to be able to get clients and to sell. So get on that list. Get on that wait list. Do yourself a favor. I hope that you will join me in the spirit of really celebrating these women and gentlemen who are in this last round because, again, I think as a society, we do such a bad job of our perception of how we, see other people winning. It's often something that we either like to tear down or we are judgmental of it or we're jealous of it or we think that person's bragging or they're being too much or something like that. And I think we have to call that out. I think we start to recognize that that's not helping or serving anybody when we're like that. The more you celebrate your wins, the more you celebrate your progress, the more you celebrate your achievements, the more achievements, progress, and wins you're going to have. And the more you do it for other people, the more that your subconscious mind says, yes, it's coming for me too. Because sometimes when we're judgmental or jealous about other people's success, we're blocking it for ourselves, right? So I hope you'll practice that with me. I hope you'll celebrate everyone who is in this round. And if you're interested in the next round, I really can't wait to see you on that list and hopefully on our interview. And we're going to change your life in 10 months. Like, I have so much conviction about that because of all the incredible wins that we've already experienced. All right, beautiful. Till next week.